once again.
Good morning.
Exiles TV is the mission. He's Bill, and I'm Kevin, and we're glad to have you with us.
Boy, you're practicing your drumming today.
Already.
Mr. Gallagher, please put your hands in your lap and take them off the desk.
I've always been a nervous drummer ever since I was a finger drummer ever since I was a child. I mean, going way back, and I used to catch hell in grade school for drumming on the tabletop.
I do it too. My hands are not clean. I do it too. I generally try to keep it down here, down below, where you can't really hear it.
Now I'm conscious of that, though, because your wife Karen said I could see Kevin's fingers just moving under the table. It's like,
I want to know why
stop looking under the table, Karen.
Hey, I want to know why she's looking at your crotch.
She's not.
Most women look at your
I like
thick, lustrous hair.
I like that shot right there because you can't see under the table.
That's right. You cannot see that I'm wearing no pants.
Right there, and you can't see under the table.
Yeah, that's our shot, Marty. That's it. That's our glamour shot. You ready? Pose.
Know what you're supposed to do with glamour shots? We had to take off our jacket and over our shoulder and kind of.
I don't think so.
Ever tell you the story? Ever show you the glamour shots? I worked for a radio station in New Orleans.
Oh, they had you do glamour shots?
WRNO in New Orleans. It was not the classic legendary WRNO. It was after they'd been sold to corporate radio, and we were owned by a group called Heritage Media. And they decided we're going to get new headshots of all the air staff because we had under the roof we had 3 radio stations. And I thought, oh, great, professional headshots. They sent us, every one of us, to glamour shots. Every one of us. And, I walked in there and I had, a jacket and a tie and, I had a couple different ways to go with and they said, well, come on over here and we're going to put you in a makeup chair. I'm like, what? They said, oh, nobody goes before the camera here.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that. Yeah.
Not going into the makeup chair. So basically, my headshots from glamour shots made it look like, hi, Thaler. I was not happy with them. And I had pretty long hair at the time, and they did stuff with it, made it like I looked like a member of like a Swedish rock band. It was just, I had too much hair as it was at the time, and they made it even more so. It was like this huge mass of hair on my head. I looked like an animal had crawled up on the back of my head and was humping me.
I like what they used to do for the female real estate agents. Yeah, you'd see their pictures from glamour shots. You're like, wow, that is a very attractive...
Then you go to their office, it's like, what happened to you?
Yeah, 16 miles of bad road. Looked like she had a chemical fire on her face and they put it out with an ice pick.
What the hell happened to you?
Now, see, you talk about headshots. Coming from an Italian family in Chicago, the term headshots had an entirely different meaning.
Mm-hmm. Headshot.
Somebody want to send me for a headshot, I'd say, here's my letter of resignation. Thank you very much.
22 caliber to the back of the head.
And it just rolls around in there and nobody knows. But it's funny. Do you have any of these photos?
Yes, I still have.
Could we bring them to Joe Nathan in the back and we could actually see him on the big screen one day?
Do I have to do that?
I'm just asking. Do a little Throwback Thursday?
Do I have to do that?
No, you don't have to.
You got to understand, this was the 1990s.
You don't have to do anything.
This was the 1990s.
Except not cuss.
A lot of people were still wearing big hair. And I had a lot of hair back then.
Big hair?
Yeah.
Great big hair?
Lots.
Did you put anything in it to make it bigger?
No, that was a trick I learned much later in life. That if I could put something in it to make it less. I use products now to minimize the hair.
Listen, I first went on the air in the middle of the 70s, and the clothes we wore are an embarrassment to this day.
Did you have plaid pants?
Yes.
Bell bottoms with big cuffs?
Yes.
Did you wear platform shoes?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I wear platform shoes? Those were a gift from God to me.
That was one of the dumbest things that men did was in the late 70s, platform shoes. Now, and I had a pair that the soles were that big.
Yeah.
And then the heels were like that.
See, I only did the soles about yay and the heels about yay.
And, I tell people, this is when I was 16, and I would walk in winter in these shoes. And they said, how? How could you possibly walk on snow-covered sidewalks? Really carefully, that's the answer.
Now, the one thing I'm very proud of from the 70s, while it was happening all around me, I drew the line at the leisure suit. I never owned a leisure suit.
I wish I could say that.
Never, ever.
Great regrets of my life is that my senior picture is in a leisure suit.
Is it?
Yeah, my senior portrait is in a leisure suit. It's
Well, you were seated, right?
yeah.
It'd be
but
kind of hard to tell it was a full leisure suit.
Well, it wasn't a suit, actually. It was a leisure jacket. And I was wearing jeans, much like I am right now. This is my thing. I like to dress business up top and slob on the bottom.
It's called TV dress. Now I'm wearing.
Yeah, at least I'm wearing long pants.
I'm wearing actual slacks today, but I have been known to throw on the jacket and tie with jeans underneath, as it were. But no, I never owned a leisure suit. Never, even with the band, wore a Nehru jacket. Although some of my bandmates did.
Never had a Nehru.
Didn't have one of those.
I was in a band once as all white boys, and we wore dashikis. How stupid is that? You want to talk about cultural
That
appropriation?
is stupid.
You want to talk about cultural appropriation? My God.
I got to go with you on that one. That is dumb.
That's about the stupidest. Bunch of white boys from Louisiana, and we're wearing dashikis.
Now, I did have, and it was very much the style then, I did have the shirts, the kind of Kiana, John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever type of thing.
Kind of you wear them once, and after you launder them, they stink like onions for the rest of your life.
Well, the kind if somebody hits you with a cigarette, you turn into a plastic ball. But the collars, if you were driving in a convertible maybe, or sometimes just with your windows down in your vehicle, the collars were so long that you would actually get lift.
I did get airborne.
You could actually fly.
Like the flying nun.
Yeah. It was like Sister Bertrille with a cigarette in her mouth.
See, I'm very impressed you came up with that name. All right.
What name?
Sister Bertrille.
Oh, yeah. The
Sally
flying
Field's
nun.
character.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show this to you. Okay?
Oh.
Okay.
You are glamorous,
That
you
was the
devil.
that was the grayscale glamour shot from that radio.
We got to show that.
19
That's a
Marty,
great
do you want me to spin it
picture.
around? Before we go to break here, real quick.
And after we come back from break, we'll do it again.
This was 1995.
Yeah, get it up there. That's a nice looking picture of you.
I think it's cheesy as hell, frankly.
Well, cheesy was in vogue then, but it's a nice looking picture. We can see.
Well, we're not going to get to see it, apparently.
They're not punching it up. Oh, here we go.
Jonathan in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that,
There
ladies.
Yeah. There you go.
And were you a single man back then?
No, man, I'd been married to Marianne for a good long time.
That's probably a good thing.
Marianne and I got married in 1988. This was probably a 95, 96.
That would have been a groupie bait picture for sure for someone in radio.
Well, that was my professional headshot. Lucky for me at the time, they didn't go up on any websites because there weren't any. And I got to tell you, I distributed that photo to no one.
I'm going to have to find mine. They had a professional photographer come in, and they decided they'd do us in the studio. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting at the control board like this. And I've got sideburns that do all this, and a Fu Manchu that meets the sideburns, and big curly head of hair, not as big as yours. And I've got my WAIL mug that says Bill, and I've got a cigarette, and I'm like this. Now, you want to talk about cheesy.
The cigarette was a nice touch, though.
Oh, we used to smoke in the control room. Absolutely. I'd forget matches, you'd grab the engineer's soldering iron
I
and
vaguely
light it
remember
up.
smoking in the control room.
Oh, yeah.
Never cigarettes, though.
But I'm going to have to see if I can find that one. Well, yeah.
Let's take a commercial break, our first of the hour. We got a lot more stuff to talk about. This is Exiles TV. We'll be right back.
State Treasurer John Schroeder, encouraging you to visit latreasury.com to search for your unclaimed property money. During this pandemic, we've returned money to businesses, local governments, and people across Louisiana.
New Orleans Habitat for Humanity found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Treasury.
Audubon Nature Institute has unclaimed property.
I found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Department of Treasury.
We still have over $800 million. This is your money. Claim it.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. taste the feeling.
Man, you were just all kinds of popular today, huh?
Wow, people calling me up and wanting things and getting things and doing things and
Doing things.
So let's talk about something that happened in your environs yesterday.
My neighborhood. I was amazed to hear this happened in my neighborhood because, listen, my neighborhood, Shenandoah Estates in Baton Rouge, is it's a diverse neighborhood.
And it's huge.
And it sprawls. At one time, it was the largest subdivision in the state of Louisiana. It sprawls, and there are people of all nationalities, all skin colors, all religious convictions. It's a very, very diverse neighborhood. Sure, it's mostly white. But,
You got Zen Buddhists out there?
yes.
Okay, just
Yes.
checking.
I got Buddhists live across the street from me.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice folks, the Khans. They're nice folks.
Cambodian.
Yes, they are Cambodian. But yesterday on Confederate, or was it Chattanooga? Confederate near Chattanooga in my neighborhood.
Doesn't matter. Both those names are going to be changed very soon.
Nice? Yeah. I'm not sure Shenandoah is going to survive. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, that's all from the Civil War. But lady was driving through the neighborhood on her way home. Confederate is one of the streets, one of the main streets to get into the Shenandoah neighborhood if you're on Tiger Bend Road. Very busy road. I'm saying all this for the benefit of those of you who don't live in Baton Rouge and don't know the lay of the land. Ever since 2016, the streets have still been prone to flooding whenever we get heavy rains. And the lady was driving her vehicle through the neighborhood down Confederate, and a lady living on the street decided to come up and whack on her vehicle with a baseball bat.
Yes, the woman in question, who has been arrested, by the way, one Bridget DiGirolamo, 38 years of age, was charged with criminal damage to property and aggravated assault with a firearm.
Yeah, because after the bat, then she went in to reinforce her argument and got a pistol.
Well, the husband, who wasn't driving, got out of the truck to see if she had done any damage. So she ran inside and came back with a pistol and was pointing it at him. Now,
Her beef was that they were driving too fast through the neighborhood, which had high water. And the woman's beef was, you're kicking up a wake and the water's going to get in my house. And in the video that I saw, people were standing ankle deep on the sidewalk in front of the house. But if you know the lay of the land, it's still, most of the houses are a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
up
they're elevated
on
from
Confederate. They're up a little bit from the street level. So, but you know, I don't know that I would attack somebody with a baseball bat for kicking up a wake, and I surely wouldn't get a gun.
well, the bad part of this for her is that most of it's on video. And you can clearly see that the truck is in the street where it is entitled to be.
I mean, what do you do? Now,
They were going to their home, by the way.
Yeah, they live in Shenandoah.
They weren't just joyriding.
Yeah, they live in Shenandoah. They're neighbors. Maybe not close, but they're neighbors.
No, they're not close now.
Yeah. Now, to make matters worse, the folks in the vehicle that was attacked are black. And the lady with the ball bat and then the gun is white.
Now, the lady who was driving the vehicle, I saw her last night, and I thought she was very nice about this. She said, I am not one of these people that turns everything into a racial issue, and I'm not going to say that about this.
No, but others will, Bill. You know they will.
Well, other people who noticed, other neighbors, because there were a number of neighbors in the street checking the water. You know, they were on the sidewalk, out in their front yard, said other trucks went through at about the same speed, and none of them had a black person at the wheel. So, you know?
Sometimes if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. And let's not be immature and think that we don't have people that do have a problem with black people.
Now,
Let's not be idiots and think that that doesn't happen.
Bridget is no shrinking violet here.
Brigitte DiGirolamo,
DiGirolamo, yes.
38 years of age.
Yeah, and 38 caliber. She told the family of three to turn the F around. You're causing my house to flood. Before going inside and returning to her yard with the gun and yelling, you better move. When the sheriff's department got there, she lost a lot of her eloquence. She said, I was in fear of my life. I hate people who are afraid of their own lives, by the way.
You were in fear of your life? You're the one with a gun.
And my child's life. I want an attorney. That's all she said. I was in fear for my life, by the way, not of my life.
Yeah.
Because that would
Maybe
be...
she should be in fear of her life. I don't know.
Yeah, she seems like she has a set screw that doesn't go all the way to flush.
Well,
if you know
I'm going
what
to bring
talking
up a
about.
side topic of this when you're done. Okay, so
I think that's it. She has been released on bond from Parish Prison, but I mean, the charges are very, very serious. You know, I mean, criminal damage to property and aggravated assault with a firearm. Now, the criminal damage to property, you might get a fine, but
aggravated assault with fire, 3 to 5, baby.
3 to 5, and you're a felon. So, I mean, I think she just kind of lost it.
That's where I wanted to go. We are only, I think, starting to scratch the surface of the mental health issues that are going to be arising and have arisen as a result of the COVID-19 scare and lockdown. Mm-hmm. And yes, I said scare. I'm sorry, I'm one of these nutcases who thinks there are people who are deliberately trying to scare you with colored facts in this COVID-19.
Well, it's scary enough on its own.
I know people, it's scary enough on its own. I don't need you fudging the death toll numbers. I don't need you fudging any numbers. And I don't need you telling me that people will die if you don't wear a mask.
Well, we know that. Yeah.
There are people who are scared to leave their house. Literally scared to leave their house because of COVID-19. This is wearing on people's nerves. And I wonder to what degree is this going to be part of her defense?
Well, I think a big part of her...
She's been trapped in the house for all these months and she just lost her head.
I think a big part of her defense is the fact that house did flood in 2016. Mm-hmm. And she was frantic. And I think the other neighbors that were out there were worried to see how far the water was going to go as well.
Say one more quick thing from personal experience in that neighborhood. In 2016, the end of Confederate, where Shenandoah subdivision spills out onto Tiger Bend Road, there was 5.5 feet of water on Tiger Bend Road. 5.5 feet of water covering the roadway. The houses on the far side were flooded to the roof. It was incredible. So, yeah, I can see somebody kind of freaking out with a not again.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I think you probably felt, and most everybody was familiar with Shenandoah, it always seemed rather high to me.
It's a ridge.
Yeah.
But it's a ridge surrounded by low ground.
When Karen and I first started dating, she lived on Seven Pines, which I guess is the front side of Shenandoah. Mm-hmm. And we were out of the country when all this happened, so we were watching national news, and we looked up one day and there was a reporter from Fox News that was doing his stand-up
in front of your old house?
In front of her old house, yeah. And he was standing in about 3.5 feet of water, and it got worse behind him.
So, and to some of us taxpayers that live in Shenandoah and some of these other areas prone to flood, it's upsetting, and we don't like it, and we don't want to see it happen again, especially not from a simple rainstorm. Now, if we've got, conspicuous flooding from a hurricane or something, that's not to be, or in the case of the August 2016 flood, that was a rainstorm that came and parked over Baton Rouge and sat and dumped 30 inches of water in 2 days. That was a once-in-a-lifetime storm.
We hope.
Now we're hoping, that we don't see that once-in-a-lifetime storm again anytime soon. But I can tell you in Shenandoah, every time the rain sets in, and it rains for more than several hours, we all get scared as hell. We all get nervous.
But you can't take your gun to somebody in the middle of the street. You can't. Don't do it.
Your gun is for self-defense.
And by the way, our buddy Jay Grimes yesterday was saying that in some parts of East Baton Rouge Parish, it was what the Weather Service would call a 25-year rain yesterday.
Oh, it was awful. It was terrible. Listen, we're going to take another quick break. Still to come this hour, we're going to talk with the District Attorney of East Baton Rouge Parish. We have had problems. We have had violent crime. We have had that. Yesterday was a situation that didn't end with violence, but there's been violence aplenty in the capital city. That discussion's coming up on Exiles TV.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here. Some big changes are coming to the Pelican and Cox Cable. July 15th, our numbers are changing. We're easier to find and we're in high def. New Orleans, Gramercy, Lutcher, Acadiana, Patterson, Baton Rouge, new numbers coming and a brand new signal. It all happens July 15th on Cox Cable. Do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Get all the details by checking your local guide.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology, which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us this morning as we cruise on into this week. A lot of rain, by the way, in the forecast for our entire viewing area today. From Lafayette, Opelousas, New Iberia, Houma Thibodaux, into Baton Rouge, and then through the river parishes in the New Orleans area. You're going to have some of these thunderstorms like we all saw yesterday, and it's kind of unpredictable when they're going to happen, but everybody in the region has about an 80% chance of having some heavy rain today, so be advised and be very, very careful. Joining us now, District Attorney Hillar Moore from the 19th JDC. Hillar, we're always glad to have you along with us. One of the reasons that we wanted to have you on is that we have got a big spike in murder happening in our immediate vicinity. I don't know how that translates to other areas as well, but I know you work the numbers and you do a lot of backstory on these things. What is going on?
Really, the bottom line for me is that we've had 2 summers. So summertime historically for us have been when we see big numbers of homicide, 11 or 12 a month. And so that's what we normally see. 2017 was our big year. We had 103 total homicides, and that summer block, the 4 or 5 months there from I think June on, were just really big for us. And once the pandemic hit and everyone was going home and things were shutting down, we warned that we thought we were going to see an uptick, at least in domestic violence cases, but also we were not sure about violent crime, what would happen. We also weren't sure about heroin and drug dealing and overdose deaths or suicide. We thought maybe that the drug market would be interrupted and people would be home with their loved ones and maybe wouldn't be quite as much. But what I think we have seen is that we've had 2 summers that is starting right around end of February, March, when things shut down. There were no more schools, kids were out, people were not at work. There were not a lot of people on the street because they were inside. We saw our numbers just have summertime numbers. And now we're in the middle of our summer. And so that's why I think that we're replicating the summer of 2017 twice. And that's why I think you're seeing the numbers that we see. I think right now we're at 53, which is the number last year we had around November, beginning of November. It's extremely busy right now, unfortunately.
One of the things I've noticed that we didn't have in 2017 or 18 or 19 is there are 2 incidents in the last month where somebody just randomly fired into an automobile. One where they actually blocked the car. Now, I don't know if there were more than 1 fatality in either of these 2 incidents, but that's kind of a new wrinkle. It's kind of scary. What are your intel people saying about things like that?
So, I don't want to get into a particular case or anything, but there's a saying, murders are not random for the most part. So there's generally some reason, whether good or bad, obviously, behind and a motive behind why people shoot at each other. It's normally just not random. Normally the victim and the defendant know each other in some type of way, or at least one of the multiple victims know the shooter in one way or the other, have a long-term standing beef or problem. So murder is not accidental, it's not random. Again, I'm not positive of those 2 cases right now. I think that you're referring to, they're being investigated, but that we have seen that. We mentioned the domestic violence. Last year we were fortunate where we only had 2 domestic violence homicides. And in the big year, 2017, we had 14, and they were murder-suicides as well. Unfortunately, this year, I think we have experienced around 6 domestic violence homicides already, and I think 8 or 9 total, including those 6, are intimate partner, family-type cases. So we have surely seen that uptick as we thought we would.
That's heartbreaking.
So really as I understand it, we're right around where we were by November of last year as far as total homicides in the calendar year.
Yes.
That's shocking.
Yes.
Because we're just hitting the halfway point. Tell me about non-fatal gunshots. How bad is that going right now?
Good, really good question. So I think all communities and all departments should always judge themselves by non-fatal shootings. It takes away the good doctor, the ambulance, how close is the hospital, how bad or good was the shooter. That should be the baseline of how much violence or shooting is going on in your community. Surely we have seen an increase in shots fired and also non-fatal shootings as well. And if we had a lot of money, a lot of officers, I know people are talking about defunding, but boy, if we spent a whole lot of time on non-fatal shootings, because that's generally going to be your next shooting, the payback from that shooting, retaliation. If we had more time and effort that we could spend on those and breathe and take the time to do that, I think you'd see that murder rate reduced. But what I'm seeing from this year, we're talking about youth, we're talking about kids out of school, talking about now summertime, people not at work, drugs and mainly in group violence is what's driving our homicides today.
Well, I also saw, again, just kind of scanning the news as I try to do every day, over the last 10 or 15 days, we have actually had a lot of armed robberies where a handgun was seen. It seems to me that that's a bigger number than normal.
Normally you see the armed robberies around the wintertime, Christmas, those types of people are desperately looking for money. But I think it makes sense that you may be seeing more armed robberies now because of economy and lack of money and jobs and things of that nature. People are desperate for money and items, and I think that's the reason that you've seen that.
Now,
I can't say that it's been, I can't say I've noticed to be a great jump, but possibly a little bit of a spike. But generally our overall crime is the same. It's right now, it's the violent crimes that we're seeing the increase.
We've seen very little damage and violence as a result of protests, which I think is a very fortunate thing for East Baton Rouge Parish. But when it comes to the non-fatal and the fatal shootings, is it unique in the capital region, or are your colleagues in other parishes reporting the same?
Can't say other parishes, but I can tell you around the country in major cities, everybody is experiencing what we're experiencing here, so we're not alone. You will find some pockets where that's maybe not occurring, but I mean, look at Chicago, Baltimore, even New York, which has really been fabulous the past few years. They're experiencing the same thing. So we're surely not alone at all. And I think after everything's said and done, we actually get back to some normal. There'll be a lot of studying as to why this happened, how it happened, should have been predictable, what could we have done to stop it.
What about the geography, the spread of crime or lack of spread? Are these trigger pullers still all operating in the same areas, generally speaking, or is it moving around?
So you and I have talked about this a lot before. These are highly concentrated areas and highly concentrated people that are trigger pullers and potential victims. So when we always say the two zip codes, 70802, 70805, that's where the two majority of the number of our nonviolent shootings and murders are. It's wrong to characterize that as the entire zip code, because the overwhelming majority of people there are good law-abiding citizens that want law and order and don't want that, but it's this small amount of youngsters that are having guns, that are pulling guns and committing all of this crime.
Are we experiencing any depolicing like some of these other communities where the police just simply aren't going when they're called?
I don't see that. I see the men and women going headlong into cases. I mean, I've seen it. We saw an officer killed 2 months ago that went into a situation, and I have not seen that. It could possibly be happening, but I have not personally seen that. And in speaking with the officers, they're feeling down, depending on who you talk to, but they know they have a job to do and they're going to do it, from what I can tell.
It seems to me, and none of us get out as much as we used to, because we have been largely behind closed doors, say 80% of the time for the last 90 days or more, but we're getting out a little bit more. It seems to me that the general population is not as alarmed right now as perhaps they should be. It's kind of yeah, this is terrible, but, well, what did you expect? I'm not so sure that that's a healthy way to look at this.
So we're talking about being alarmed as to the number of shootings and murders?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I somewhat agree, and I think a lot of it maybe has not been publicized quite as much, although we just did have the mid-year report by the newspaper. So, again, when you talk about things that are highly concentrated in areas, it generally doesn't affect the majority of the people in the community. So maybe they are immune from the actual facts of what's happening, but I would like for them to be indignant about every shooting and every death. I'd love for that to happen, because it would call more attention to where we are and what's needed, because we have some people that are very needy that we're able to help them, but you have to get to them early. But people really, I'd like for people to see what I see and know what I know, and walk the streets and see what's happening in Baton Rouge, and we need help. But unfortunately,
I'm going to tread in dangerous territory a little bit for a white guy, because what we've been hearing since this unrest began several weeks back has been, we keep hearing the phrase systemic racism. And a lot of us want to go, nah, there's no such thing as systemic racism. But then a lot of the same people are saying, well, they're killing each other off, so what the hell do I care? Isn't that systemic racism in a fashion? I mean, we should all care.
Yeah.
If people that live across town from us are killing each other off, shouldn't we?
I mean, surely there's racism. Surely there's systemic racism. It's been going on for a long time. So that's an issue. When we talk about black on black crime, it's also white on white crime. And that's generally you know each other. Mm-hmm. That's who your victim is, someone that's related to you. But I guess the underlying problem is, what's the cause? Why are these people resorting to having to kill each other? What is it? Is it education, economics? Is it historical problems that they've faced? That's where the big question is. So surely we need to look at black on black crime just as you do white on white. The numbers are surely out of whack. But why is it that they're having to resort to this? What's the criminogenic effects as to why this is occurring is what we really need to base our study on.
We are speaking with District Attorney Hillar Moore from the 19th Judicial District. We will be back with more after this break. Please stay with us on Exiles TV.
That's right, the Clarence Buggs Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hello, and welcome back to Exiles TV. Hey, a reminder, if you liked it so much the first time, you're going to love it the second time. This very show, what are you laughing about, Marty? That's terribly inappropriate. You're supposed to be supportive of us. There was a replay of this show in its entirety that runs at 10 o'clock tonight from 10 till midnight. And tell your friends. And, of course, it will be up on YouTube probably at about 2 p.m. And you can also always stream it live as well. So we thank you for being with us, and we hope you will tell folks that you enjoyed what you see. If you didn't enjoy what you see, tell Kevin. He loves that stuff.
There you go.
We are visiting with Hillar Moore, 19th JDC District Attorney. Hillar, there is a police reform bill that is being forwarded by newly reelected Senator Cleo Fields. And what is the thinking of what is in this bill and where it's going to go?
Well, this is really going on in all of the legislatures around the country right now. So police reform, one of the biggest arguments are that police do too much or they're given too much to do. Mm-hmm. And all the problems are always solved legislatively by make the police enforce. And you want the police enforcing mental health, you want them enforcing homelessness, you want them enforcing all kind of things. And then, bad things eventually happen when you have to have some force eventually that's involved in a case. And so the idea is, do you want them issuing traffic tickets? You want to have someone separately doing that? What about loud parties? Do you want police going there? Do you want them doing other things? So that's where a lot of the talk is. Can we look at legislatively what we make and require officers to do that they're generally not trained for? And can we narrow their scope down and focus on other things that maybe should be more of a police work than others? And so that's part of it. But I know Cleo Fields, Senator Fields, has 4 different committees that he's going to start, and they'll be chaired by a legislator and I think a law enforcement person as a co-chair, and just going to look at overall police function. Spoke with him once or twice about officer-involved shootings and what's the best practice that Louisiana can possibly employ for the investigation of officer-involved shootings and potential prosecution. The biggest argument is that the DA and the police that investigate their own police, they're too close. Surely that's true that we are closer to my officers here than I am in another city. Is there a way to better do that? Can a different agency come in and investigate sheriff's shootings and Baton Rouge shootings? Should a different DA be the one that supervises that or reviews that is not here, that I call that officer to the stand in trials? So the perception looks bad to those who are killed or injured because they know we know each other, and that's one aspect that we're going to work with him on. And I'm kind of encouraged right now. I think that we're going to see some good things, and hopefully everybody will be better off for it.
I understand what some of these measures, not just Senator Fields' measures, are trying to do. There's one big city, and I can't remember which one it is, but it's like one of the top 25, that said, we are going to strip away traffic tickets and parking enforcement from the police department. And the cops were going, thank you. Yep. Now, they're going to have to find a way to fund that. But I can remember back in the 70s, one of the few things that Jimmy Carter did properly, in my opinion, was focus on mental health in our communities. And cities that had big budgets would actually send psychiatric social workers or other well-trained people out to a home so the police wouldn't have to decide whether someone needed to be interdicted, taken into custody, needed hospitalization. Of course, those budgets have long since dried up, but I do think it's unfair to have police officers make mental health judgments. And I'll bet it's 10 or 20% of their calls.
Sure, and to pick them up and to put them in their car and have to take them to the hospital, have to wait for them at the hospital, taking 2 and 3 hours when you have very few officers that are on the street as well. I think the flip side is the officers will tell you what happens when that mental call person starts getting violent. Then who do you call?
Well, yeah.
You call a healthcare professional, you call the police. The traffic stop, what happens when it's a DWI, or there's drugs, or there's a gun? Who do you call at that point? So you have just traffic patrol. Now you have to call the real police. So there's a lot of things that it's easy to say, harder to maybe do.
Yeah.
So that's going to take a lot of discussion, a lot of effort. But a lot of countries, European countries, have that model set up where police are really not those that are enforcing the more social problems that we require our police to do, and really not trained for that.
Well, but when you've been ripped off, like say you've been mugged on the street, you want a cop. You don't want a social worker. You want a cop. The problem, as I see it, is we want cops to do virtually everything until we don't.
Yeah. Or until there's a problem.
That's what happens. And so
I am one of the people that believes, now, we'd all be children if we thought that there are no cops that have problems with people that don't look like them. But I cannot believe that every cop out there on the street is walking around with a big racial chip on their shoulder. And that's part of the problem I see, is that we've got a populace that's ready to believe the worst of the badge. When I think that most officers that I know personally are colorblind. It's not a question of are you black, are you white, it's are you breaking the law? Yeah. Are you presenting me with a situation I must deal with? And how do we get that message? How do we get people to appreciate that message?
Yeah, that's a hard message to get through. It's just a matter of continuing to do the right thing. I know the chief is trying to hire more people, as is the sheriff right now, and it's having a difficult time. But right now, it's a good time if you want to be in this profession. You want to make a change. You want to do the right thing. Come volunteer for this. Come try this position. Try out to be a policeman or sheriff's deputy. Try to become a prosecutor. You see things that need to be changed. Help us be the ones to make the change. So it's a difficult
as opposed
time.
to just burning crap down. I mean, if you want to be part of positive change, do something.
It's a difficult time, but it's a really exciting time to be in this field because there is so much change going on.
If I might make a suggestion from a layman's standpoint, perhaps everybody should look to what the very good fire departments have done over the years. For example, St. George is one of these that wants to have every one of their firefighters certified as either EMT advanced or paramedic within the next 5 years. So that if EMS is handling a lot of calls and they are delayed, you have people that can do that. I know of municipal fire departments that send their EMS people through psychological evaluation training so that they can be the responder along with police departments. I know of police departments that only send investigators to a burglary, because if the person's gone, there's no point in sending a uniform out there. There's nobody for him to take into custody. Perhaps we could learn about cross-training some of these people to A, ease their burden, and B, let the public know that we're working on some of these problems, because it's terribly unfair to send a police officer who was a year out of the academy and who has been riding with a field training officer to an unmedicated psychotic that's throwing things around his living room.
Yeah.
This officer is not trained for that.
And there are some parishes that have those special response teams that send those technicians there, and not officers, and officers do not go unless they're needed. So that's surely something I think that would be considered. But again, we're talking about funding.
Yeah, where's the money going to come from?
You're going to have to pay someone somewhere for that. So also I think they'll look at maybe non-sworn officer status. Are there people that don't have to be a police sworn officer that can do certain jobs like analyst and other types of things that police traditionally do? But
well, it's certainly a model that needs to be modified. But And maybe it's because I know so many officers and sheriff's deputies and folks like that. I don't think our local law enforcement agencies need as much mitigation as some that we see on the national news. Now, of course, all we're seeing is incidents when we see the national news. But I mean, I would evaluate most of our law enforcement agencies as generally doing a good job, but also being aware that they have some problems they need to address. Is that a fair analysis?
Yeah, I mean, it's always your point of view. So you'll probably have someone disagree, and have 50-50 on that statement one way or the other. It just depends on where you are, who you are, how you've been treated in the past.
We've got about a minute and a half. I know you keep your finger on the pulse of domestic violence, particularly that which ends up with injury or death. How are we doing?
Like I said earlier, we're unfortunately at 6 domestic violence homicides, and we have a total of 8 or 9 intimate partner, family-related homicides this year. So that's up from 2 last year, but down from 14 the year before. So we are still working on trying to identify those people that are violators, domestic violence violators that are high at risk to committing homicide. And hopefully that program, the Stop the Loss program, will pay benefits for us in the future.
And that's been funded. We're good with that?
It has not been funded. We're looking for a $75,000 funding. It's not for personnel. It's more for experts and data collection that we do. So we're looking for a donor for that right now. If anybody has $75,000, we ought to fund this for a year. But it's going to be a very successful program.
There's somebody out there that's community involved that has 75,000. I'm hoping that'll happen for y'all very, very quickly. Always a pleasure to have him on with us, District Attorney Hillar Moore from the 19th JDC here in East Baton Rouge Parish. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back on Exiles TV. Stick around. Don't go anywhere.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For Total Pest Control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bug Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
welcome back. It's Exiles TV. I'm Kevin. He's Bill, and we want to thank District Attorney Hillar Moore for spending some time with us. In our next hour, we are going to discuss a way that businesses can save, that do credit card transactions or ATM debit card transactions can save a ton of money.
Well, and for those of you in the medical profession and the legal profession,
really anybody that does credit card or ATM card transactions.
Our buddy Franz Borghardt was telling me earlier this morning that he uses Square, and he knows how bad they are hitting him for every transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to do exactly what our guest is going to talk about, Chris Nelson, tries to offer them a cash option to save everybody some money, but if not, he charges them 5%.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is a need for this. Chris Nelson, who is the president of GTS, will be with us to tell you all about how you can...
GPT.
I'm sorry, GPT. Why did I say GPS?
Global Processing Technology.
I'm thinking of maps. GPT, how you can save money if you're a business owner or manager on your credit and debit card processing. So please pay attention. This is some important information for you. And this is a wave of the future for businesses. So, Kevin, what do you think about the folks in what is it? What is East Feliciana?
Clinton.
Yes, Clinton.
You're talking about the Confederate statue?
Yeah, they
I was
said,
go there
we're not
myself.
taking it down.
Last night, the police jury in East Feliciana Parish voted to keep their 111-year-old Confederate statue outside of the East Feliciana courthouse. This first came on the radar of Bill and myself back in the days when we had a radio program.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke with a lawyer representing a man. Was he accused of murder or was it something else? I can't remember.
He was accused of a crime where he could go to jail. I don't think it was murder.
But the lawyer and his client wanted a change of venue because black man, black lawyer, and he made what I thought was a very reasoned argument that how can you get a fair trial inside a building that memorializes the Confederacy and a time when black people could be owned as property.
Yeah.
And they asked for a change of venue, and they didn't get it.
No.
Last night, the vote from leaders came after discussions on whether the statue should be removed. It's a 30-foot tall statue of a Confederate soldier, not any particular Confederate soldier, by the way.
Meant to be representative of all Confederate soldiers.
It's a nondescript Confederate officer. Has been in front of that courthouse since 1909. Some see it as a memorial of previous generations and the history of the region, and some see it slap out as a reminder that don't you forget we used to own your ass.
Here's the question I would have when it comes to Confederate military statues only. And I don't know the answer. Maybe one of you does, and you'll enlighten me. Am I remembering correctly that in the early part of the 20th century that they passed some legislation that allowed living veterans of both armies to get veterans benefits from the United States government?
Yes.
If that is the case, then if the United States government has had the Veterans Administration recognize these soldiers, then I would think that that is good enough reason to say they simply commemorate someone's service on one side or another of the Great War, and that therefore we don't have to infer any particular slight against those who are living and breathing today. If they are not considered U.S. military veterans, however, then I say, if it's a court of law that's following the Constitution of the United States and you got it out in front of that, perhaps you need to take them down. Just my thought.
Well, here's the way I feel about it. It is up to the people of East Feliciana Parish whether that comes down. And I'm sorry, I don't think it's up to the council. I know they're representatives of the people, but have the people had a say? Put this thing on a ballot this fall.
There you go.
And let the people of the parish make a decision.
Top of the hour. We'll be back with hour number 2 on Exiles TV. Stay with us.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi gang, Clarence Bugs here. Cox Cable is upgrading the signal from the Pelican, but to catch us, you're going to have to tune in now to a new number. Acadiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gramercy, Lutcher. Check your guide for details.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, we're back. It's Exiles TV. Bill Profita over there, and I'm Kevin Gallagher. And coming up, we're going to tell you a potential way that you could save a ton of money if in your business you take ATM debit cards or credit cards.
You know, we get to talk about bad weather. You know, we warn people throughout the area about bad weather. We get to talk about crimes, demonstrations. Mm-hmm. Rarely do we get to talk about something that a lot of people will enjoy. Are you ready for this?
Go.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It's 3 a.m. What are you wearing? All right, what does that mean to you?
Nothing.
Man.
Sorry.
You need to watch more television.
It's 3 a.m.
Jake from State Farm at 3 a.m.
Oh, TV commercial.
Yeah, there you go. All right. The largest insurer of automobiles in Louisiana,
What are you wearing,
State
Jake from State
Farm,
Farm?
is cutting its rates. And not a tiny little cut, almost 10%, 9.6%. This was approved yesterday.
Is this a seeing the writing on the wall kind of a situation?
I think it is. It was approved yesterday by the insurance commissioner, Jim Donelon. It is the fourth rate cut that State Farm has made in the last 2 years.
Okay.
It will begin August 24th for new policies and renewals after that date. It'll save drivers who are insured with State Farm $131 million in Louisiana.
Well, may I interject with this? Hey, Allstate.
Hey, Geico.
How about it? How about a little something, you know?
I left State
For
Farm.
the loyalty.
I left State Farm 2 years ago because there was this little increase and that little increase and this little increase. I had been with State Farm for 27 years. Mm-hmm. And I left them and went with the talking lizard, you know, and...
Substantial savings?
Substantial savings the first year. Second year, kaboom! And they're doing all these wonderful commercials about how because of COVID-19 and less car usage...
We're all in this together.
Yeah, we're going to cut your rates for 15% for the life of your policy.
Yeah, are you going to have to ask for that?
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
That's like with Allstate, they did a safe driver get 40%. That's the whole thing they're building up with the commercials with Dennis Haysbert, where people recognize Dennis Haysbert from the Allstate. Safe drivers get 40%. I'm a safe driver. I haven't had a claim on my auto insurance in 22 years.
You have to let them monitor you.
You have to plug a thing into your dashboard.
You have to put the thing in your dashboard, and they have to monitor you. Mm-hmm. And if you go over the speed limit, they're going to say, you don't save that 40%.
I'm sorry. In my mind, after 20, how long have we been with? 33 years with Allstate, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not a claim in over 2 decades. That's a safe driver. Give me my 40%.
I'm thinking of going back to the company I had in Chicago. I had three-fingered Louis Lucchese. And Louis would come out and say, all right, you hit my guy's car. You going to pay now or you going to pay later? It was the best insurance policy in the world. They were also they were related to the Mothers and Fathers Insurance Association, the MAFIA, and they sold fire insurance. My Uncle Philly was one of their salespeople. He'd come to your business and offer you a fire insurance policy and would pretty much guarantee if you didn't buy his policy, you were going to have a fire. Yeah, it was going to work that way.
Here's another item in the news I think is great. Ed Ogeron, head coach of the LSU football Tigers, he now has the keys, literally holds the keys to Tiger Stadium. He says this family couldn't afford LSU tickets growing up. Neither can any other family, and only about 3% of the families in Louisiana can afford tickets to Tiger Stadium. So with the keys to Tiger Stadium, Ed's planning to have himself a little barbecue on the 30-yard line this Saturday. So,
really?
No, I'm kidding.
No.
Well, what do you do? I have the keys to Tiger Stadium.
I mean,
it's a good way to score checks. Hey, keys to Tiger Stadium.
What the hell is the point of that entire story? You have completely lost me.
Why did they give him the keys? It's like, is that ceremonial? Is that did they give?
Did they maybe not understand him when he was speaking? Was he maybe saying, "Please, I'd like to be in Tiger Stadium today"? He got the key. You know how he talks. You can't understand a word he says. What the hell is the point of that?
It's one of those feel-good stories.
I mean, like, is there one great big purple and gold key?
This happened yesterday, by the way, on one of our former colleagues' radio show.
With
T-Bob. Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know what that means, given the keys. How many of your coaches have had the keys to Tiger Stadium? And how many keys are there? I mean, do you have is it like a key ring with 600 keys on it?
Well, I can't imagine they have every gate and the press box and the concession stands keyed alike. They probably 5,000 keys.
I love Coach O, but he sounds like...
They probably weigh as much as a punter.
He sounds like the Cookie Monster and the Hamburglar had a love child.
And again, what is the point of that story?
I feel good. It
doesn't make me feel good.
It's a sports story when there's no sports to cover.
It's the aggravate. They're the ones that...
This is one of the funniest things about media right now is there is nothing for the sports reporters to talk about. There is nothing for them to cover. And so Ed Ogeron has the keys to Tiger Stadium.
Now, see, I thought you were going to talk about him. He's taking boxing classes. And there was a nice little feature story about that,
well, his face is preconditioned for that. I'm going to catch some hell for that one.
Well, you're not going to get those tickets you've been hoping for, that's for sure.
I am going to catch some hell for that one.
But yeah, he's taking like kickboxing classes, and he said it's a great stress reliever for him.
I'm sure.
Because for the first time in however many years, he actually has a little time on his hands, because they can't do all the things they normally do in the 5 months leading up to the football season. So he needs to spend a little time doing something. I don't think I would like to get hit by Ed Ogeron.
No.
For a man in his 60s, he's in pretty darn good shape.
You realize there's a pretty good chance I probably will in the not too distant future. Listen, we got to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to still to come this hour.
Who is it? Ed Ogeron. Open the damn door. I'm going to slap you.
I'm sorry. You have to come back later. I'm doing the dishes.
Got Gallagher in there. Send him out. Make fun of me.
The high cost of doing business, especially if you take credit cards or ATM debit cards, we're going to talk about a way that you could potentially save thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. That's coming up later. As we take a break, we'll be right back with Exiles TV.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us this morning. We like to talk about, kind of tongue-in-cheek, we like to talk about Chamber of Commerce crime. Like the Chamber of Commerce really loves it when every news station in Baton Rouge has got a story about a guy who put 8 bullets into his brother because they were fighting over half a donut. Mm-hmm. It's what we call Chamber of Commerce crime.
And by love it, he means they hate it.
Yeah, they absolutely hate it. I'm being sarcastic. Boone County, Kentucky.
Boone County.
That is the home of Florence, Kentucky.
Yep.
Florence used to be...
Remember Florence, y'all?
Used to be a sleepy little town.
They never did build the Florence Mall.
No, but they've grown. And they've got Chamber of Commerce crime of their own.
Mm-hmm.
But Florence, I believe, now has 6 figures in their area of dominant influence, their ADI. Mm-hmm. They started as a little bitty suburb, and now they've gotten quite large. And I believe they're just across the border from Cincinnati, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, Youngstown.
Yes. An arm wrestling contest between a father and his son turned violent and led to an 8-hour standoff with Boone County deputies. It seems that Mr. Curtis Zimmerman was intoxicated when he challenged his son to an arm wrestling competition.
Okay.
When he lost multiple times, he became agitated and got into a physical fight with his son. He was losing that too. This guy's a slow learner.
Yeah.
I bet you his forehead goes down to here.
Yeah.
And his chin kind of comes up to meet it. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
You never look like me. I don't love you that much anyway.
What part of younger than you and more virile than you do you not understand?
Daddy, why is my mama also my cousin? Anyway, but he was losing the fight. So he grabbed a gun and fired 2 shots into the ceiling while his son was heading upstairs. Cops were called at 1 a.m. because...
So he wasn't just yeehaw into the ceiling. He was shooting in the direction of his son.
Yeah. So...
Wow.
Somebody said, okay, it's gone on long enough. You done took 2 shots and you missed him twice. Time to put the gun down. They call the cops. 1 a.m. this is all happening. Zimmerman was alone in the house. All the other family members fled.
You think?
He kept the cops at bay for 8 hours and then finally surrendered around 8:30 in the morning. According to the news report, he does not yet have an attorney who will comment on his behalf. But he was charged under that Kentucky statute that covers general stupidity.
Wow.
He has been charged with being a low IQ cracker under Kentucky state law.
Is that a Kentucky statute?
That's in there. I'm reading it. It's revised statute number 1. And they've only revised them 3 times.
Yipes.
And his family has been forbidden now from intermarrying for the next 20 years. They're going to try to. Chamber of Commerce crime. Now you're sitting there in Atlanta, and you're thinking about putting a nice operation.
Thinking of expanding into Kentucky.
Yeah, and Florence is right across the river from Youngstown, Cincinnati. It's a nice geographic area.
I don't want to expand into a city where dads shoot at their son over an arm wrestling match.
Chamber of Commerce crime. There you have it.
Incredible.
Yes, indeed.
And sad too. I mean, what if he had actually shot his son? What if one of those shots he fired into upstairs went through the ceiling and hit son and killed him? Would it be like, well, it serves him damn right for beating me at arm wrestling? No, I don't think so.
Oh, you think these people have a thought process.
Exactly where I was going. People, and we opened the show, our first hour, we talked about the woman in Shenandoah subdivision that pulled a gun on a neighbor who was driving through, and because she was angry because the neighbor was kicking up a wake on her flooded street. Okay, well, I understand being upset. I think the thing I might do is maybe fashion a quick sign. Slow down, you're kicking up a wake. Or shout that at them as they, please slow down, you're kicking up a wake.
Well, the other neighbors had signs, by the way, that
beat
said
on
that.
their car with a ball bat and then go get a gun. People don't think through what they're doing. It's like the whole thing with guns is, I was always told, especially with handguns, you don't own one unless you're prepared to use it. And by use it, I mean take somebody's life with it if necessary.
Yeah.
And you don't produce it unless you're prepared to fire it.
And not at somebody in the middle of the street. Now, the bottom line on this story, I hope we'll be able to find it when they have arraignment court for Curtis Zimmerman.
Curtis Zimmerman.
Yeah, I hope they have arraignment court, because you know what we're going to see? Daddy, you shouldn't have done that, but I love you. I don't want to press charges. You can't hold my daddy. You got to let him go. And he'll say, shut up, boy, and smack him. But they'll let him go anyway.
I don't think so. I think this guy's going to do jail time.
I've been wondering. You don't look like
How
me.
How long was the standoff?
8 hours.
Jail time. Sorry. You tie up law enforcement for that many hours, jail time. Even if it's a couple of weeks, even if it's a month, you get jail time. Don't be stupid. He needs to get jail time just to tell him this is where you cross the line from being ignorant to being just plain stupid.
Well, and you can bet this is not the first time the Boone County Sheriff's Department has been called to this house.
Somehow
I'm thinking they probably rack up frequent flyer points every time somebody calls 911.
All right.
between father and son.
Business people, if you take credit cards
or debit cards,
I want you to listen up, get next to the TV, and make sure you're listening, because we're going to give you valuable information that could save you thousands, tens of thousands. That's coming up on Exiles TV.
All right.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
State Treasurer John Schroeder, encouraging you to visit latreasury.com to search for your unclaimed property money. During this pandemic, we've returned money to businesses, local governments, and people across Louisiana.
New Orleans Habitat for Humanity found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Treasury.
Audubon Nature Institute has unclaimed property.
I found unclaimed property with the Louisiana Department of Treasury.
We still have over $800 million. This is your money. Claim it.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Clarence Bugg Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Welcome back. Exiles TV as we roll on through hour number 2. This is very, very important, everyone.
Prick up thine ears.
And I never considered this, but there are an awful lot of people that are really, really paying a lot of money in processing fees when they take plastic. And it's not just what they take with each swipe, but it's their monthly fees and their statement fees and all this. A good friend of ours, Chris Nelson, is the president, and I guess you're the founder of GPT.
That's correct.
And you have got a better wrinkle. I'm going to let you just tell everybody what global processing technologies can do for them.
Yeah, so we're a company that can take away all the fees and percentages that normalized merchants are going to pay, and move all that money to their bottom line immediately, actually. Once installation is there and or conversion of their POS system, it's really about that easy. The way we do that is we take those percentages and charge the consumer convenience fee for utilizing their credit or debit card for any of these transactions.
But the convenience fee is very, very low.
It is. It's 4%, and the consumer has an option. That's the best part about it. We don't force that down the consumer's throat. We're saying here's another option to pay, and it does a lot of things. It allows the merchant to keep costs down, where they would typically have to move the cost of goods or services up 20 to 25% to realize the same net margin of 4%. It's good for everybody because ultimately they have a choice.
All right, I hate to be a neophyte here. I knew that the interchange banks charged you every time you swiped a credit or a debit card.
That's right.
I didn't realize that there's a transaction fee as well that they charge.
Yeah, absolutely.
That there's an authorization fee for them saying approved, please remove card.
Right.
That there is a statement fee for them telling you how much they've taken from you.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the TINRS fee is, but that could be $10 a month for every merchant.
Yeah, that's just a fee to belong to the system.
There's an annual fee that can be as much as $200 a year. You have an online access fee that can be up to $15 a month. And you have an express funding fee of up to $20 a month. And then there's all kinds of annual fees that go on this. So basically,
it's adding up really, really fast.
I'm looking at, I would think a business that does 150, 200 swipes a day, they're probably spending $20K on fees.
There's a lot of examples of this. There's an actual merchant here that spends $1 million a month, or takes in revenue of $1 million. His percentage averages about 3% depending upon the card. So Visa, MasterCard, Discover Card, American Express, they're all different fees. There's a lot of things that go into that. It could be rewards programs. Someone has to pay for all those things. But a merchant that has $1 million in revenue saves $30,000 a month, $360,000 a year. So that's a lot to the bottom line immediately.
Yeah, that is definitely bottom line money.
Sure. And when obviously the volume goes up, the savings goes up, but even at the smallest of businesses, I have 2 businesses myself, and I save $30,000 a year.
Really?
Yeah. So, what that does for me is it takes an overhead cost of rent for one of my locations and it dissolves that. So there's a lot of things that I can do as a business owner with $30,000.
Well, I'm thinking you throw $30,000 out there, and I'm thinking you could hire, if you need help, that's a salary. That's an annual salary.
Absolutely.
For somebody. I mean, how difficult is it to get to make the transition from a conventional POS system taking cards to your system?
95% of the POS systems that are out there today, through restaurants, bars, municipalities, online stores, shopping carts, you name it, we can integrate with. We certainly could bring another card swipe machine and it's plug and play. There's virtually many different ways that we can service the industry. So Wi-Fi swipe machines. So for example, fireworks stand, we have fireworks coming up here. So a completely cellular wireless machine. We have a Wi-Fi 4G machine that could go into a restaurant or bar to make it more convenient and drop more money to the bottom line just by simply swiping the card at the table instead of going back and forth. We have hardwired machines. We can actually add a machine on the side of a POS machine. There's just so many different ways that we can do it.
I was talking to a friend who owns a restaurant, and he accepts cards, and he has always complained about his processing.
Right.
And then he tells me in the next breath, but I'm afraid to change. I'm afraid if I make a switch over, my gift cards won't be honored. That, I can't do what I'm doing. And I think it's a lot of baloney myself. I think a lot of these people that are selling these services are scaring their customers into avoiding their competition.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. It's a thought process. It's a mindset change, certainly. You can look at a big fast food business like CC's Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Their entire business is on this system that we're discussing today. And it's estimated that they save over $5 million a year while giving the customer a choice. So what can they do with $5 million? Probably open 10 more stores, and the next year forecast to 10 more stores. So, if you're, just for example, going on another avenue here, if you're a business that's thinking about selling in the next 5 to 7 years and you want to maximize your EBITDA, you can drop this to the bottom line and forecast revenue over the next few years that you never thought about and become more profitable. I don't know any other way you can do this immediately.
This would seem to be a godsend to the small businesses, the extremely small businesses, the mom and pops that are, that scraping by to make the rent.
Oh, absolutely. So people don't realize it just because we go about our day-to-day activities and do what we normally do, but 55% of the 27 million small businesses in America do not even take credit cards or debit cards.
Because of this, the cost of processing.
Because they can't afford to.
Absolutely. So typically a small business owner works on a margin of 10%. So if their percentage for a credit card is 3% plus the fees, let's just mark it up to 4%. You've now taken 40% of the 10% revenue that they were bringing in, and it's not affordable.
Well, and that is definitely off your top line, which means your bottom line is going to look awful.
Yes. I mean, you just can't survive on a margin of 6 to 7% in today's market. There's no way.
What I find interesting is the inroads your company is making to people that we don't normally think about in terms of credit and debit cards. But let's say I go to my physician and they want to collect my copay,
right?
My $30 copay. And they're getting hammered for 4% for every swipe that they have, plus all the fees to get their statements. So a smaller physician's office that really wants to watch their prices could benefit by doing this.
Absolutely. It's another option to pay, and I want to continue to say that because it really is. It's an option to a consumer. You have checks, you have debit cards, you have credit cards, you have Apple Pay, you have Venmo, you have Cash App. There's many different forms of payment. And at the end of the day, someone has to pay for you to pay, at the end of the day. So doctor's offices, boutiques, I mean, there's a number of different things, but think about it like this. Municipalities, okay? Talk about the state of Louisiana wanting to balance the budget. This is one way that the state could balance the budget today. They could push this down into the municipalities as another way to pay. And by my calculations, it would save the state more than $600 million.
Well, you have one relatively populous parish that has converted to your system through their sheriff's office.
Well, we're in talks about that right now. I don't want to mention the sheriff's office until it's done. It's never over until it's over. But we have many different sheriff's offices that are interested in this now because it does a lot of things. In the particular parish that you're speaking of, it will save the parish approximately $750,000. They do nothing more than what they're doing today. It's no more overhead. It's no cost of a machine. So I believe that for every $100,000, the sheriff's office could maybe hire another deputy and give them a car. So, you know, it does a lot of different things. Maybe they could pay for additional staff. There's just so many different things that they could do to move this to the bottom line. And guess what? They don't have to vote on it. There's not a new tax about it. It's a convenience of a way for a consumer to pay, and they have the option.
Let me ask you this before we go to break, and we'll be continuing, by the way, with Chris Nelson, who is the president of GPT Systems. You said 55% of small businesses don't accept any plastic right now.
That's right.
So if one of these businesses says, okay, I can go with your structure because it's not going to harm me, but they don't have a system, are you going to charge them to put a system in? Is it going to be expensive?
No, that's the beauty of it. So if I came into your business, Bill, I would give you a machine. I would not force you into signing the typical contract. So why would you want to leave if you're saving all this money? It's just another barrier in the business that I don't want to get in front of. So I'll give you the machine. You don't sign a contract. You start utilizing the card today, and that's it. I mean, you can increase your business, certainly increase the bottom line. So why not?
We are continuing in a moment after a break. Going to show you some real-world examples of how this can work for you, whether you're in a professional business or a large retail business or a hospitality business. Listen up. We'll continue on Exiles TV in just a moment.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hey, welcome back. Exiles TV, Bill Profito over there. I'm Kevin Gallagher. Our guest is Chris Nelson. He is with GPT, Global Processing Technologies. Something new, a new way to, if you're in business, accept credit card or debit card payments from your customers. And by shifting a small amount of the cost over to the customer, you could save tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands, depending on the scale of your business per year, in the fees that would be normally charged for accepting a credit card.
Well, and a lot of businesses that do infrequent credit card processing, or certainly not at the level of, shall we say, a McDonald's or a Dillard's, they don't really realize until they see it every month how much they're paying in fees, particularly if they're using the little thing that's kind of shaped the same way on all sides. I don't want to say their name, but it plugs into your iPhone and you process it. Most people only charge you a point or two for a debit card. They're charging you 8. Hello. So, this is a good thing for businesses of all types. And we're going to continue to talk to Chris here. I do want to give you his phone number if you want to talk to him today. Wait till he gets back, 225-256-2229. And we will talk about how you could reach him.
256-2229,
yeah.
Is what you said?
256-2229 in the 225 area code. And you'll be able to also look at his website and all that. But Chris, what I really want to talk about in this last segment is we're talking about convenience in terms of the money and the processing and all that. What about all the different areas that may not know they could benefit from this? We talked about healthcare. We talked about government. I'm sure there are some areas that I haven't thought of yet that you certainly have.
There's so many what I call verticals that every day I run into more. So, I'm in Gulf Shores and I walk up to a vending machine. There's a coin slot, a bill slot, and a credit card slot. And I was like, well, here's another prime example here. If somebody wants to use their debit card, pay the convenience fee. These vending folks that are in small business, they really work on some really low margins.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to buy their product at the lowest rate and obviously sell it at the highest. But, when you're talking 75 cents, a 75-cent product, it's difficult to make really any margin. You got to have a lot of volume. But it goes into every sector. So municipalities, doctors, convenience stores, wonderful place. We process for 30% of the auto dealers in the nation. A number of different things, athletic stores. There's just so many flower shops.
Yeah, I'm thinking about leaving a card on file, for example, my automobile insurance company.
Sure.
They hit it every month, and I'll bet you they could offer better rates if they were getting rid of that 4 points every time they swiped a card.
Absolutely. Anytime you have a renewable charge every month for a gym or any of those types of things where the merchant can actually save you money in the future by passing this cost along, at the end of the day, the consumer is really going to pay it.
Mm-hmm. One way or another.
Right. So do you want it at a 4% rate or do you want it at a 25% rate?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question. And then you also have the option. You can say, no, I don't want to pay that way. I'll pay my membership up front for the year and I'll write you a check. So you alleviate the fee. It gives you so much more freedom this way with these options to pay, just like a check or credit card or cash.
So nobody's being manipulated into this deal. It's always up to the consumer how they want to pay.
Absolutely. It is completely 100% their option.
Now, there's somebody out there now, maybe there's an attorney of my acquaintance I was telling about your business.
Right.
And he said, well, we take credit and debit cards. He said, but I have to charge them a 5% customer convenience fee. I said, how'd you like it to be 4%? And he lit up, and then the next thing he said was, what's their customer service model like? And I think everybody's going to ask that question because a lot of these people have been through the ringer with all these other processors, and they're not really crazy about their service.
Yeah, so we have a staff of 107 people working 24 hours a day to solve any of the issues that you may have. For example, like chargebacks. You'll get a lot of chargebacks in a restaurant or a bar. Someone mixes your ticket up. You know, that wasn't me. I didn't buy a T-bone steak. I only had a cheeseburger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So part of what we're paying for and the fees that the merchant would normally pay is that chargeback insurance. So we're going to chase that down and do our best to resolve those types of issues for you. But, you know, if you're a truck stop and you're processing with us at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're having the issues, we have people available to resolve any of those issues that you have.
Now, we're moving to a cash-free society. It seems pretty inevitable. COVID-19 is pushing that along a lot faster. There are places now are saying we don't want cash. Of course, if I walk into one of those places that we will not accept cash, I usually just do-si-do and out the door I go because, as you were saying, I like the option. Right. I like to pay the way I want to pay when I want to pay it. But if you have to operate cash-free, you might as well save some money doing it.
Absolutely. There's I don't know if I can mention the restaurant here in Baton Rouge on Government Street that's had pizza for, 60 some odd years that has only accepted cash. But when people ask me, who wouldn't take cash? I mean, credit cards rather, sorry. And I always mention this business. They're like, oh yeah, right. I was driving down Government Street the other day. I wanted to get some of the pizza and hey, I didn't have any cash, so I passed it up. So there's so much more of that people don't realize that's happening in business that they're losing.
More and more of us don't carry cash around with us either.
And if you do, you hold on to it like it's some type of gold bullion for some reason. It's a mindset, I feel, for people that are, in my opinion, 45 and up. We were used to carrying cash all the time for everything. And of course that's diminished, but when we do carry cash, like I say, you try to hold on to it.
Oh yeah,
like
it's my emergency funding.
Yeah.
It's always in my pocket. But, I like to look at the businesses that I frequent, and I like to think that I want them to survive and thrive because they're looking out for me while I'm looking out for them. So if I pay a 4% convenience charge on a $10 purchase, that's 40 cents, right? Am I doing the math right?
That's right.
And if it helps them keep the prices the way I want them, if it helps them have, another employee to help out, I'm all in favor of that.
Absolutely. If you think of it that way, in today's economy, especially what we're trying to come out of right now, in restaurants and barbershops and salons and all those kinds of things, I've talked to a business owner the other day. They had a COVID-19 surcharge. I mean, how much worse can you make something sound, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get penalized for being in COVID-19, and no one tends to have any affection for COVID-19 as well. So that's kind of the double whammy. When you look on the ticket at the very bottom, I got a COVID-19 surcharge, so I'm being penalized. In this particular fashion, you're going to help those restaurants and bars and barbershops and gyms and all those things that took so long to come back. And guess what? The consumer has the option, okay? They have the option to utilize a credit or debit card. So it's a thumbs up in both situations. It helps those merchants out to move that 4% to the bottom line if you want that convenience.
If I'm a merchant and I decide, yeah, Chris, I want to go with GPT, how long is the turnaround time? Coming into my shop and replacing my POS with POS that's compatible with your system?
So it could be as quick as the same day, but up to 3 to 4 days. It just depends on how sophisticated we have to get.
I guess how many point-of-sale terminals you have.
Well, it could be a complete switch on the point-of-sale services, but it could be one that we integrate with, like Aloha, which is in most of the bars and restaurants, 10-minute conversion. That's it. On the back end, you change no equipment. We come in on the back side of the software, change some numbers, the routing numbers and whatnot, and that's it. It's immediate. If we do have to go the route, and I'm glad you mentioned that, of changing out or providing POS systems, I'm going to give you those at cost. So where a typical robust curbside restaurant bar type of POS system would cost you $20,000 to $25,000, I'm going to give you the same thing at my cost, which is $1,500.
Wow.
Boy, they're making some good markup on those systems,
Yes,
aren't they?
are. Yeah, like everything else.
If that's
Sure.
not enough to make you unhappy, folks.
That is a major carrot right there hanging on a stick in front of me. You know, just swapping dollars on the equipment, that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have been talking with Chris Nelson. It is a way for your business, large or small, to stop paying excessive processing fees on credit cards and debit cards. It's called Global Processing Technologies, headquartered here in Baton Rouge, but they work all over the nation. You can get in touch with Chris, by the way, at 225-256-2229, and we will tell you more about them in the days and the weeks to come. Chris, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much. Appreciate having me.
A brief break, and then we're back on Exiles TV.
Hi gang, Clarence Bugs here. Cox Cable is upgrading the signal from the Pelican, but to catch us, you're going to have to tune in now to a new number. Acadiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gramercy, Lutcher. Check your guide for details.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Clarence Bugs Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugs Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us. Coming up to the top of the hour here, our buddy Chris Nelson.
I've already received a text saying, could you put that number on the screen?
And we're going to put that number on the screen. We're going to put that number on the screen in just a minute.
Jonathan will put that up in just a moment.
It is called Global Processing Technologies. You can stop paying fees, and right there on your screen is the telephone number where you can reach Chris Nelson. This is the office number. It's not like his cell number or anything. And I also want to tell you.
Ask him what he's wearing.
Yeah, hey Jake from State Farm, what are you wearing? But for those of you who have friends that are struggling with their POS systems and plastic and all that, tell them to watch the replay tonight at 10 o'clock or go to YouTube.
Go to the Pelican Broadcasting channel on YouTube, and you can view this on demand.
Yeah, because it'll be up there. You can hear all about it. You can also see his number. And it's time for me to get my LASIK redone. You're going to have to read that number. Can you read
That
it?
is 225-256-2229. That's 256-2229. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Marty didn't give me back my card. You know, when I give him a card to put a number on the screen, he steals
Marty
them.
wants to call and do business with him.
No, he prank calls them at night. That's what happens. He doesn't get out much.
This is, though, look, in the COVID-19 crisis, I know of several small businesses that are literally just mom and pop, and they've got maybe 3 employees, and they are deeply concerned about being able to shave every expense possible in order to keep themselves alive and in business. This is a terrific way for them to save, as we said, perhaps tens of thousands of dollars a year in credit card processing fees.
Well,
and for my part, you ask me to pay an extra 4% so that they can stay alive. If I love you, if I love doing business with you, I'll gladly pay that fee, out of my pocket to help keep your business alive.
And I'm showing my age here a little bit, but if you remember when the idea of credit cards first came out, you paid a convenience fee with every credit card transaction.
ATM cards, debit cards.
Oh, when that
was
came
even
out,
worse.
wow, like 10%.
Yes, you get walloped for using your ATM debit card. This is a way to pay a small amount of money. Let's say $5 cup of coffee. What's 4% of a $5 cup of coffee? 20 cents?
20 cents.
20 cents. 20 cents to me is nothing if it helps keep you alive. So, yeah, if I love you and I want to do business with you, I'm going to put you onto GPT.
And for you business owners, and I'm not just talking about, storefronts and all that. If you've got an online company that you work from home, you are probably getting really, really hurt by your fees. If you're a physician in a small practice, if you're an attorney, and you need to take credit cards.
Really any kind of business.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's a shame when you hear the statistic about how many small businesses in America don't take credit or debit cards because they can't afford the fees. Well, this is a way that your customers pay a convenience fee, and you can give them the convenience of taking that credit or debit card. And you'll be hearing more from Chris and more from GPT, Global Processing Technologies, in the future. That much I can guarantee you.
Hey, before we go, I want to remind you, the Exiles podcast on YouTube and Facebook Live tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. We have a doctor, an anesthesiologist, who says, enough with the government and COVID-19. It's time for the government to get out of the COVID-19 crisis and let physicians handle it from here on out.
And what's interesting about this guy, he is one of the founders of a group that is very large that believes what Dr. Bill Cassidy believes, that medical facilities should have posted, transparent pricing, free enterprise for physicians. And I think that has a lot to do with his argument. So we will do that tomorrow morning on Facebook Live. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Stay safe.
And God bless. You take care.
Bye-bye.